Hey everybody, here to do a video today. This time we're going to be having a look at Mega Bloks of the World of Warcraft stuff. It's going to be a series of videos talking about that stuff, and at the end I'm probably, if I remember and can be bothered, do a little discussion on why I think the line failed and is now dead. It's not continuing on anymore. I want to have a talk about that because I think just getting this stuff recently and seeing how it feels, I think I can see why it didn't continue. And I've also been learning, obviously, a little bit about how Mega Bloks do their practice. But we're going to be having a look at what the first set I got, which kind of got me into grabbing the rest of the stuff, which is the Sindragosa and Lich King set. It's one of the kind of medium-sized ones, I guess you could say. I'll state this now as well. All of their stuff is ridiculously cheap for the most part. You can, if you want to get the whole line, America has a lot better deals than we do. But people in the UK can still get it for a really good price, I think, anyway. The reason I kind of went on to getting these things is because I'm a big Warcraft fan, a big Blizzard fan, and I've been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm recently. And have been sucked into this since it's kind of the only way you can get figures for these kind of characters, or at least the few they've actually done main characters for. So, let's just jump in, have a look at the Lich King, see if he's worth picking up, in my opinion, of course, and you can judge for yourself as well. And, you know, let's get cracking with the knacking. That's saying nobody really ever says, apart from me right now. So let's go.
And here we are with the Lich King and Sindragosa set, and we'll first start off with a looking at the dragon itself, Sindragosa. So for an undead dragon, I think Sindragosa pulls off the bony look fairly well. You know, all of these thinner parts. There's not much meat to it, which is probably the point. Good colours as well, and around the ribcage we have a slight kind of mixture of colour, I guess, to show a bit more bone there, which is kind of neat. And the most impressive thing about the figure is the wings, as they're all torn and tattered, as they should be, which gives it a really good look. It's got a pretty solid tail as well, with these nice blue bits, just to highlight it is frosty or powered by ethereal energies. And the head sculpt is pretty good. Unfortunately, though, it does have some paint bleeding. I think this is a tendency of Mega Bloks, unfortunately, as you will see later on as well. So we'll have a look at what Sindragosa can do. She has, because she is a lady, has a mouth that opens up quite wide, you know, gets your thumb in there, I guess, or if you want, you can pick up Arthas and shove him in, and, you know, it actually balances quite well. And, yeah, it'll fall out if you poke around, but it's nice that it goes in there. The neck and head are on these two big ball joints, which are nice and stiff and gets lots of expressions. A good load of posing out of it, which is great. And these joints are used pretty much all over the figure. So in the legs here, both sides, of course, in the back of the legs, and in the tail. So you can get the tail all up and bent like a scorpion's tail, if you like. And it's pretty good. It's a good amount of articulation, and I don't feel it's been skimped on at all, which is good. Maybe the wings could have done with a bit more, because it's just this one joint here. One ball joint with the cut. Which maybe limits it a bit, but you can still get it into some good flappy poses, or some good intimidating looking poses, but I would have liked maybe an extra few here, just maybe a joint or two extra, I don't know. But yeah, Sindragosa, I'm pretty pleased with her. The posing is pretty neat, and it just looks good. It's very solid as well. Putting it together was good, and underneath here, there was actually a load more than I thought. We've got these blue bits, which again, I guess, is an example of the blue felt energies powering her, just like here, the clip from the Wrath of the Lich King cinematic trailer. It's that same kind of effect, and it looks pretty good. You know, I'm pleased with it, even with the paint not being the greatest. And before we talk about the throne, let's talk about Arthas himself, as this minifigure is pretty stinking good. He's got a crap ton of detail on him, like just on the head. You can even see they've sculpted in a mouth underneath the helmet. That's pretty insane, just on itself. Frostmourne has been captured really successfully here. It looks pretty identical to how it should be. Granted, the shoulder pads are maybe a little bit comically big, but that's a bit of a game thing anyway. They've even gone to the detail of doing his boots as well. That's kind of nuts. Now, what can Arthas do? Well, his head is on a ball joint, so it will wobble about and do that stuff that it should do. The top of his crown or helmet is soft plastic, so it won't break. And actually, I'll tell you what's going to be easier to show the rest of this articulation. The gimmick is you can pop off stuff and swap it around with other figures. So, yeah, head on a ball joint, as I mentioned. And let's just get started with the cape, as he can pull this sucker off. I'm not sure if it's the right colour, I can't remember offhand, but I do like the fact it's tattered. That's nice, it works for him. And we do have a hole in his back. Why? So he can have in this thing, which is completely blurry. What is this thing? It is a thing that you can put the swords in, or weapons or whatever, just onto the backs. It's a universal thing, so there you go. We have a ball joint in the arm as I pull it off, and this is how the shoulder armor goes in. It's a separate piece, and it just slides on over the top, which is pretty neat, and it's got a good look to it once again. The arm has a 90-degree bend at the elbow, and a wrist swivel as well, which is quite cool. It's good that it's got that articulation to it. And again, the forearm has a nice bit of armor. The hand can get a little bit stressed when holding the weapons, though, which is a bit of a universal issue that these have. But yeah, the same for the other arm. Frostmourne looks great, as I mentioned. The body has the body armor, which slides in over the top. Soft plastic, looks really good. He has a waist swivel, as you can imagine. It swivels and is waisty. Ball joints in the thighs, or hips, I should say. So it does what it has to do there, and a 90-degree bend at the knee. So, overall, pretty decent articulation. Way more than a Lego minifigure, but that's kind of what Mega Bloks' thing is, to do these more articulated figures than anything else. And I was worried that I wasn't going to like this, especially since Arthas is one of my favorite dudes, but he's turned out pretty damn well. Yes, his shoulder pads are a little bit ridiculous, but hey, it is one of the big important guys from Warcraft, so yeah, I'm happy with him. There's not a huge amount to say about the Frozen Throne itself. The build was not one of the most exciting things about this set, because there's not much to it. You're effectively building a chair. You know, if you are down and into building chairs made of ice, then this might be for you. But I do like the unique pieces and unique bits of sculpting, like the ice-shaped curved parts. That's quite neat. And overall, it gives a good cold setting, a good cold feeling when it's all made up. So, yes, we'll just move it around. We have this piece here, which really is just for holding Frostmourne. It doesn't quite work, as you can see. It's just the way that the shape is. Just kind of flops around. You can balance it in there, but it's not the best thing in the world, unfortunately. But once again, Frostmourne's still maybe one of the best things in the set. I don't know. It's really good. I love Frostmourne. Arthas can sit in the chair or his throne. If you take his cape off, then he goes in quite easily and quite well. And again, I don't think he looks too bad there. If you want, you could squirt some water on this guy during the icy times and let him freeze over so he's completely accurate, which would be ballsy and quite cool as well. And that's how he looks. These pieces here are really cool and unique. I think they're done better than the other pieces, because it's the clear translucent blue, and then what they've done is spray painted white over the top. This gives a much more natural and better looking frost effect than some of the other pieces, where it's just kind of unclean, and it doesn't make too much sense like this. We've got dark blue just kind of plopped in there. Some of it works a lot better than others. This is an example of where it doesn't, but I do have some bricks in here which are really good examples. It completely depends. It's random, completely random. And that's really it, guys. That is the set of Arthas, his throne, and Sindragosa. I am very happy with picking up this set. I've got one of my favourite characters from Warcraft lore, Arthas, the Lich King. That's pretty badass, and he's a fairly decent representation of the character. I've got this neat undead dragon Sindragosa, and a not too bad looking set piece as in the Frozen Throne. Now, I think it's a lot more acceptable the price these are going for now, which is about £12 on Amazon.co.uk, than what he originally was, which I think was around 30, 35-ish. And for the price he is now, I think there's a lot of value to this purchase. And it makes me accept a lot of the little flaws like the paint scuffs and, you know, little hiccups here and there on the figure, more so than if I got him for the full whack. Anyway, guys, I hope this has been entertaining and informative, and I will see you in the next video. Catch you later, guys.